Hi everybody, welcome to my channel, Narc Shield, and my name is Jennifer. If you've never been here before, welcome, and if you have, welcome back. Please subscribe to my channel. I hate begging, but the subscribes will help my channel to thrive, and so since it's a new channel, I guess I'm begging. And so I hope that you will at least subscribe to get the notifications for when I post new videos. And if you see something here that you like, please like and maybe share it with someone that you think may need it. Tonight, I wanted to talk to you guys about trying to manage a narcissist. It may be that I have to do a couple of videos, so we'll just see how things go and how comfortable I'm feeling talking about it, because it's really difficult for me to be looking into a camera and just talking to myself. I was just having a conversation with someone today and I was like, man, I really wish I had somebody on the other side bouncing questions at me and I could just answer them. And so I'm looking forward to one day being able to go live with YouTube, so that might help out a little bit. I notice lots of times that people are trying to learn as much as they can about narcissism sometimes, so that they feel they can have some power and control back in being able to manage the narcissist. And although I do think it's really important to have awareness, I think that's a big mistake, because a narcissist is going to see if you are trying to manipulate them. They are master manipulators and have been doing this their entire life. So if you are trying to manage them, they are going to question it and see right through you. They may not say it, but they definitely are doing that, and that's only going to cause them to not trust you even more. And narcissists, they really don't trust anyone because they can't even trust themselves. And so when you are trying to learn about narcissistic personality disorder, it's good to have the information so you might understand why certain things are done, said, why things are happening, and maybe you can relate a little bit better because you understand that this person is a person and this is just what they know. If you're planning on staying in the relationship, a lot of times it's because it's a family member and you can't necessarily get away from your family member. I mean, some people will choose to do that, but managing a narcissist, I'm sorry, I just don't think it's a good idea. They will see right through you. A narcissist, a truly narcissistic person, is always 10 steps ahead, and they do need to win. So if it's in a situation where they feel like they need to win, or they're being challenged, basically, they are going to see right through you. They are not going to tell you what their game plan is, and then they're going to go for it. Now, I'm not going to say that a narcissist doesn't see things wrong sometimes. They're never going to admit that. And there are times that their perception is completely off. It is their perception, and a lot of times I've had people talk to me about the different perceptions, and I can actually see both sides. And so even if it's a narcissistic person, I'm like, wow, I never really thought about it that way, and I can see why they would have felt that way or saw things that way. However, that's not how I meant it. And so since a narcissist, their feelings are facts, they don't always, when you try to explain yourself at whatever point that is, they don't always believe you, because they just have the story written in their head. That's the story, and that's the way the story is going to go until they're ready for the story to change. So if it works for their benefit down the road and they're wanting something completely different, then that story can actually change. But you're not going to be able to make that story change. The narcissist has to be in control, and so it's whatever their needs are, how they want things to play out. It's not going to be you who makes things play out that way. And so when people are trying to manage a narcissistic person, you're going to find yourself very, very frustrated, because no matter what tactic you take, it's never going to be the right tactic. And so you'll find yourself going, there's nothing I can do. I've tried everything and nothing I do is ever right. And that's because basically it isn't. It's what's right is what the narcissist wants. What the narcissist wants is power and control. They need to be able to control their surroundings, the people that are in their surroundings, and they also are not able to self-reflect, and therefore you're not going to get any resolve with someone like that when you're trying to talk to them. You might think that you are. So let's just say you go and you have a conversation with a narcissist and it seems like they're hearing you. Most likely they just want the conversation to end, and so they're just going to say whatever they need to say to get the conversation to end and move on into a totally different direction. And you may think that it worked out, and then a week or so later or the next day it's something completely different, and you're like, I thought we had everything worked out the night before. And if you are being honest with yourself, it's, oh, okay, they manipulated me and just pretended that everything was okay and said whatever they needed to for that conversation to end because it was boring them and they were ready to move on. And so, you know, also on the other hand of this, and so I was thinking about this when I was thinking about this topic, is a narcissistic person may also go to get information and try to up their game. So there is some bad to bringing awareness, because a narcissistic person, if they are aware at all, there's different types of narcissist also, and I know that's confusing. And so when you are trying to get information and then you try to use that information, it may be that you use it, it doesn't work. It's because you're dealing with a different type of narcissist. And so when I was first on my journey, one of the people that I listened to a lot, and I still do, is H.G. Tudor, and he is an author, and he also has a blog site at narcsite.com, and he also has a YouTube channel, which is Knowing the Narcissist, and he has excellent books. I mean, I read a lot of his books. Actually, I think, unless he's done a lot of new ones, I pretty much read all his books. They were intriguing to me. I found out a lot of things about myself. And he is a very self-aware narcissist who has been in extensive therapy for quite some time. And so I learned a lot from him, and he describes things a little differently than a lot of people do. Now, he is not a psychologist or psychiatrist. He is just a narcissist slash psychopath, and he explains things differently. So there's the greater narcissist, there's the mid-range narcissist, and then there's the lesser narcissist, and that's how he describes them. And then there's subcategories to those even. It gets quite confusing. There's so much information to learn when you are learning about narcissistic personality disordered people, or even yourself, if you're an empath or codependent, that it can be quite confusing. Most of the time, as I've said before in some of my videos, when you are looking up on narcissistic personality disorder or narcissism period, you're going to get where they describe the traits of the extrovert narcissist, and that is who we would normally think is a narcissist, somebody who's just full of themselves. And you know, so you'll notice a lot of the traits there because they're outwardly being selfish and into themselves, that kind of thing. But there is another type of narcissist, which I have talked about before, which is the victim narcissist. And some people call it the covert narcissist. I believe that H.G. Tudor says the victim narcissist. And if I'm incorrect, he is more than welcome to correct me, and I'm sure he would. So, but I believe he calls it the victim narcissist, but a lot of people call it the covert narcissist. So you may, when you're studying up on narcissism, want to look up the word victim narcissist or covert narcissist. I believe there's the shy narcissist. There's different names for this person, and the traits are going to be different. And you would be surprised because it would be somebody that you might not even believe that would be a narcissist because their traits are so different. So when you're trying to manage a narcissist, you're going in a direction that's an uphill battle because you may not fully understand what you're dealing with, and they may even have other personality disordered traits going on with them. So, like H.G. Tudor, he is a narcissist, but he is also considered a psychopath. And he can explain all of that a little bit more. And if you want to head over to his channel, you can learn so much. He has so much information, especially if you don't have time to read or check out his blog. You can listen to his YouTube because go to his YouTube channel at Knowing the Narcissist, and you can listen to him actually read things that he has written, and he has different categories which will help you learn. He is really a good teacher on that. And so I learned so much from the narcissist, and I think when you want to learn about a narcissist, that is kind of a smart place to go, right? Is right to the narcissist. Now, a narcissist, they do manipulate and things like that, but he doesn't even have his identity out there, and so he is just putting it to you, and some of it can be quite painful because so many times when I'm listening to people and they're trying to manage the narcissist, they think they're winning. It might be one moment they're like, yeah, I'm winning because I know that they're thinking about me, or I know that they're missing me, and I know this and I know that, and it's like, no, actually what you're thinking with your emotional thinking, and what you would be thinking in those moments if somebody said those things to you doesn't necessarily mean that a narcissist is. And I would say 98.9% of the time that's not what they're thinking at all. And where you may think that you didn't betray somebody, the narcissist may look at you as a betrayer. I've had a couple of conversations even this week with people, and it's like, well, I didn't do anything. I didn't say anything to upset this person. I was really nice, and they were angry at me, and I'm not even understanding why they're angry or upset with me. And, and then when you kind of go through things, you can see where what they said would have been very upsetting for a narcissistic person, because they're going to get that narcissistic injury. And when a narcissist has a narcissistic injury, they need to heal that wound. And that means that they are going to maybe go and hang out with other people to heal that wound and ignore you until they're ready. Until that wound is healed, will they even remotely come back towards you if H.G. Tudor says that, because if you've been learning about narcissism, you'll learn about that discard. Well, he says that it's just a disengagement and not a discard, and that they do tend to come back at some point for some narcissistic supply. It doesn't necessarily mean that they want to get back together with you if you were in a romantic relationship with them, but they may want to get some supply from you. And because a narcissist needs that supply, which is called fuel from H.G. Tudor. So it's like filling up the vehicle to run and get through the town or drive across country, basically. They are needing to get through their day. So all day long, they're getting different types of narcissistic supply. And it's from different types of people throughout the day. Some people are close to them, some people aren't, some people they just see for a second, sometimes they never see that person again, but it might be that they just say hi, and that person looks at them in their eyes and says hi, and they're feeling like, look at that, they're looking at me and they think I'm hot. Whatever it is that they need to think and feel about that moment. All day long, they're getting these hits of supply. Sometimes it's good supply, sometimes it's bad. So some people might yell at you, some people might flip you off in traffic. That's supply. If they're telling you that you're the hottest thing that they've ever seen, you're the best lover they've ever had, I want to see you tonight, I can't wait to see you, I miss you so much. you're the biggest son of a bitch that I've ever met in my life. Whatever it is, that is supply, and they need all of it. And so there are so many players on the board each day that are playing in the narcissist's game. So each day is a new game. They go to bed, they reset, they get up, new game. So it doesn't matter what you say, what you do, how you're trying to manage it, it's not going to work out because you're thinking like you would think. And that's what gets you in trouble. Your emotional thinking totally gets you in trouble. It will make sure that you fail each and every time. The narcissist will win. They will fight to the death if they want to be right. If they want to be right, they will fight to the death, and they will find every way to make it work out in there. And they have lots of manipulative tactics. And, sometimes those tactics are to just wear you down and make you just give up. Oh, forget it. I'm just over fighting with this person. Fine. It's my fault, whatever. Let's just move on. And that can satisfy the narcissist, sometimes not, and they want you to just say no. They want you to do the apologizing. And if you've been in narcissistic abusive relationships, believe me, you will be the one who apologizes over and over and over and over again. Unfortunately, a narcissist, over time, they can see whether you are sincere or not, and you may truly be sincere, but in a different way. So you might be like, I'm just sorry that this happened at all. I have to say, a lot of times for myself, and maybe you were like me or are like me, I'm just sorry I brought it up a lot of times. But you do have to create your boundaries, and they are creating their boundaries as well. It just doesn't always work together because you're two totally different people. Your needs are totally different. If you're someone who is in a highly narcissistic relationship and it is abusive, there's the giver and then there's the taker. And one person takes most of the time and one gives most of the time. A narcissist, a highly aware one, so that would be what H.G. Tudor calls the greater narcissist, may know that they are the takers. Yeah, take. I get as much as I possibly can, and I give out as little as I possibly can. It works for me, and you know what? That's what I'm going to continue to do. I don't see any reason to change. It's been working for me this long. Why stop now? But then you may have others that actually believe that they have been the ones who've been giving, and you've been taking. It's just two different perceptions. And when you are in a relationship with a narcissistic person, you cannot reason. And so there should be that two people come together. They're not putting each other down. They're able to talk about their feelings and how things made them feel. And then they should be able to work through that in a reasonable way and come to some kind of compromise. Sometimes you have to agree to disagree. And honestly, I don't know that I've ever had that in a narcissistic relationship or not. Also, you have to be careful and not diagnose people with narcissistic personality disorder because they may not have that. It could be that they don't have a disorder at all. It could be that they have bipolar disorder. It could be that they're borderline personality disordered. It could be that they have different personalities disorders that coexist together. And also, you need to take the time to look at yourself. And so I was speaking to someone and I was saying, look, spend the time learning about you and learn about what you like and what you want, because when you have been in a relationship with a narcissistic person, you can become quite enmeshed, and you're doing everything that the narcissist wants to do. You're doing everything to make them happy, and so you end up not knowing who you really are and what it is that you really like. And so it's really important to take that time and focus there. Stop trying to manage the narcissist and start trying to get to know you. That's what's important. Get to know you and what you want and what you love. And, if it's not a narcissistic person, they will want to work it out with you, and they will do whatever it takes to do that. A narcissistic person is not going to take any accountability at all, and they're going to point the blame at you or someone else or something else. Until next time, This is Jen. See ya.